Hello friends, welcome to my channel Beginners SAP Guide. Today I am going to start with the overview of SAP basis functions. So let's start. So our learning objectives will be: what is the basis system, how does SAP handle a transition request, differentiating between the various work processes, understanding the basic functions of the basis module. So, so let's start with the overview. This is a software oriented view of SAP R3 system, real time 3. You can see in the figure that I have shown, like these are the PCs as presentation server, these are SAP GUI, graphic user interface, so that presentation layer can be represented by that. Then comes application layer under that, where we'll have the message server, application server 1 and up to n number of application servers. And then we'll have at the database layer level this database management system and the database. So that's the overview of the system. Let's move on. So first of all, the RC basis system structure, how it is forming. It's a client server architecture. Then we'll have application architecture along with the system communication. So all this detail will come in another slide and another video, because if I give all this detail in the single video, it will be very longer video. So it will be better to make it a separate way. So this is a part 1 video. I'll give you the just basic introduction about it. Then come the technical architecture, that is client server overview, then resource management, technical configuration, then object migration and database client. Let's move on. The basic system structure, how it is forming. 3-tier computer architecture we have. These are the hierarchy. First we have input output of data to the users, where we'll get it from the presentation layer. You can see in the figure here. Then the presentation of the process data to the user. So this layer, what we'll do, this will give us the process data from the presentation layer to the next level, that is application layer. So now there is the application layer. Now the processing of the data using the application logic. Now there must be some logic how to process the data accordingly. Then it will come to after that database layer, where we'll actually have the access to the database, and read and write option will be there, so that central database can store the data after the processing. So that's how the architecture works. Let's move on. Typical basis system has a client server architecture, where we have, if we can see in the figure, where we can see that central system. First of all, is a central system where we combine all the systems, presentation, application, database together. That's a central system. If a single server system is there, that is this one. Then we have come to 2-tier distributed system, where we have presentation layer separate and kept application and database together. You can see from the figure. Then we came to 2-tier client server architecture, where we can keep presentation and application together and database separate. After that, we made it 3 separate tier, that is presentation, application and database, 3 separate layer. And in case of multi-level corporative client server architecture, it can have n number of these layers. In the multi-layer cooperative system client server architecture, it can have more than 3 layers, up to n numbers. That is dependable upon the company, how the company is going to give us the blueprint, how to build the server and all. So that will be depending upon the company requirement or your client requirement. Next, basis system application architecture, where we have hardware, operating system, database, dialog, SAP GUI and the languages. So let's come to the hardware part, where you can see the Unix system, HP, Sun, IBM, what other Unix system we are going to use. Then AS400 also from IBM, where we can use IBM AS400 system. Then we come to operating systems like Windows, or Solaris or HPUX, whatever the system is given by the client end. Then come to database part. It can be Informix, Oracle, database DB2. Then now HANA is there, latest version from SAP database. Then DB2 400, all this stuff can come. Then we come to dialog SAP GUI part, where we have the SAP GUI installation layer, where we have to install the SAP GUI software so that we can access the SAP system. And at the bottom of that, we can have above version 4 generation. I mean, at the bottom of that, we have the language part, where we can have business application programming above generation 4, C or C++, as per the system works. Now moving ahead, client server overview, where we have a client from where the data is going to be processed, and we have a server through which the data can be request can be generated from the client, so that server can give us the reply. So there we have LAN architecture, and at the same time with the TCP/IP protocol. So all this detail will come later in some another video, because in a single video it's not possible to give each and every rule. So let's move on. So client server architecture, what is the logical structure of it? First of all, client, which we represent as presentation server, where we input the data and whatever requirement is there, we are putting from there. Then it will work as application logic, from which logic the data should be processed. Application logic should be there. Accordingly, it will go to the storage part, that is database storage. We call it as server. From the data, once it is processed, it will come back to the client again, so that we get the output or result. Now this is the resource management of the dispatcher, how dispatcher is working. You can see from the figure. So this is the presentation layer, where we actually put the input through SAP GUI. Then we will come to application layer, where dispatcher and rock process will work together to give us the application logic, so that data can be processed. Accordingly, we will get the output, which is called as communications layer. And finally it will come to the database layer, from where actual data is going to be processed and stored. And accordingly, after the storage, when we call it from output layer, that is presentation layer, it will give us the output in a display SAP GUI part. And here you can see as buffer means it is a temporary storage. See, if we putting some data into the database which is repeatedly recalled by us, where we no need to go to the database directly every time, where that same kind of data can be kept as buffer, because each and every user or client is asking for the same data. So that's a temporary storage, you can call, so that application process maybe faster in that case, because the data is going to be accessed from the buffer area. So that's all for today. We'll meet you soon with another video. That will be part 2. This is the part 1, I have kept it. So if you like my video, please do subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, please do comment, so that I can make my video more informative, more catchy and interesting. Thanks you for being there. See you again with another video. Thank you so much.